Session 7 is resource syntax and behavior. Let me source the file first. Now let's understand resource syntax. Terraform state file, that is a terraform.tf state file, and desired and current state high level preview. This is our existing C1 version file, required version greater than 1.0, required provider Azure Resource Manager source and version greater than 2, and this file Azure RM. Here I have made one entry, that is subscription underscore ID, which is coming from the environment variable file. Resource group. Resource 1 is Azure Resource Group. Azure Resource Group name internally for Terraform. What I will be actually creating, which will appear on my Azure account. Then virtual network.tf. Create a virtual network, that is our resource number 2. Third resource will be subnet. Fourth resource will be public IP address. Fifth resource will be network interface. So we create a virtual network in Terraform using Terraform on Azure with Azure Resource Manager virtual network. You give any name to it, but then you will be using this my VNet while creating subnet or while creating other resources which are dependent on this. So name my VNet 1, the address space, location where it will be created, under which resource group it will be created, that it will be created under Skillpedia. Resource group name. Then create a subnet. This is the subnet. We need to tie this up with the my VNet, and that's why we are specifying that virtual network name. Azure Resource Manager virtual network is my VNet, which is created in the previous block, this one. And the address space for this is /16 and this is /24. This is a subnet within this VNet. Then resource number 4 is public IP address. This is my public IP address. Internal name for Terraform, name that will appear on the cloud dashboard. Resource group where it will be created, location and the allocation method static. Then tag. Then create a network interface. This is the network interface. Location where it will be created in the IP configuration, which we will attach from this my public IP. This public IP address we will attach to this. You can see my public subnet and my public IP. So which subnet and which public IP address will be attached to this VNIC, that is virtual network interface card. So these are 5 resources we are creating. Next, behavior. Create resources, update in place resources, destroy and recreate resources. So we'll run this terraform init command first. Terraform init. After it is initialized, it will load the provider in .terraform folder and it will create a log file. Nothing to mention because we have already done this multiple times. ls-l, and if you try A, you will see the log file is created and plugin will be downloaded into .terraform directory. We have done this multiple times. To validate, we can run terraform validate command. And to format a Terraform configuration file, we can use Terraform FMT. Now we are going one by one and we are learning more commands. FMT we are using for the first time. This will format the Terraform files. The Terraform file will change the format. Then if any format changes, now Terraform plan. So when we say Terraform plan, nothing happens during the first run from the Terraform state perspective, but from resource behavior perspective, you can see the plus create, because that is will tell that we are going to these resources will be created. Plus create, we are creating these resources. Then apply, auto approve. This command, as usually what it does is, we know that this command will run this apply with auto approve. So all these resources will be created on Azure. Now let's investigate the behavior of TF state file once again. It is the primary core thing for the Terraform to function. It is a mandatory thing. In a short way, it is the underlying database containing the resource information which are provisioned using Terraform. Primary purpose is to store the binding between the objects in a remote system or environment and resources instances declared in the configuration. When Terraform create a remote object, in response to change of configuration, it will record the identity of that remote object against a particular resource instance, and then potentially update or delete the object in response to future configuration changes. Terraform state file created when you run terraform apply command. The state file is created locally in the working directory. If required, you can configure backend block also if you want to store it on the remote server. So terraform.tf state file, let's view this file, content of this file. Review the terraform.tf state file step by step. Let's look at this file. cat-m terraform.tf state file. Now if you look at this file step by step, you will see the version of the file, Terraform version, the serial number 6. That means you have run it earlier also. It is serial number 6. The output and the resources, mode, type, name, JSON file listing all your resources. Please pay special attention to the version and the serial number of the file. Now we are going to add some more resources and then we will check. We add update in place, make change by adding new tag to virtual network resource. So in Azure Resource Manager Virtual Network, we are going to add this line. So review the Terraform plan and then run it again. Let's try. So we have this file, virtual network C3, and in this virtual network resource, we are going to add this one file. Let me add this inside the tag, this one. So it is already added. I'm just removing the tag. So I have added one more tag. Now if I run the Terraform plan again, what will happen? If I run this command terraform apply, this should show me that update in place 0 to add, 1 to change. That was apply. See here, plan 0 to add, 1 to change, 0 to destroy. This is the change we have done. And I have just now run this command because this plan is implicitly called by apply. That's why I could see this file when the apply is executing. And because I use auto approve, now the rest of the process is going on and I should see this one change. And you can see there's one changed. The output is properly as expected. Resource destroy and recreate resources, update virtual network name. So we will destroy the virtual network subnet and resource. Before it was this v1 NIC, and after this it was VM NIC 1. We are just changing this. Let's verify this Terraform plan. We are going to check this file vNIC name, virtual network name, virtual machine NIC. So we are going to change this vNIC whatever name is, we are just changing. Our objective is to change one thing. Let me make it Nick1. Insert mode, and I'm changing this VM Nick hyphen, let's say NIC1. I just want to make one change in the name. You can make any change for that matter. We just want to check that what happens when we change this. So when we say Terraform plan, we need to observe few things. Immutable infrastructure. Terraform does not create mutable infrastructure. It creates immutable infrastructure. Immutable means you cannot change in place. It will destroy and create another one. So whatever name you give, you can see that here what it is going to destroy and what it is going to create. So you'll see that it will going to change this, is going to create that, and also it will show you that 1 to add, 1 to destroy. That itself is sufficient information that is going to destroy one, is going to create a new one. So if you make any changes to the configuration file, it is not going to make changes to the resources on remote location automatically. It is going to terminate the resources with the old name and is going to recreate them. So therefore, when I run that command terraform apply hyphen auto approve, it will show me 2 added and 2 destroyed. So whatever changes I have made, whatever changes I have done, if it is 1, it will show me the same thing, that 1 added, 1 deleted, or 1 destroyed, or 2 added or 2 destroyed. So I expect that thing, what exactly will happen. So the point is that we are understanding here the behavior of Terraform, that if you make change to the details of the resources, it's not going to make changes in place. So in our case, we made one change, 1 added, 1 destroyed. That means it has destroyed the previous resource and it has created a new resource. So this is what we have done. Let's run the terraform destroy command and then clean up. We'll do the cleanup by removing these files. Yes, destroy. And that's all for this session. Thank you very much, team.